2 days project. Among last year's project. I'm working on both. This one's going to be a quick one. This one, if I apply myself, I should have it done in a couple weeks. Protecting your Mark 8 or any other fuel injected car. I'm not sure how they do it nowadays, but from the 85 up when fuel injection went in, they had inertia switches. So when you got in an accident, it shut the fuel pump off in case there was a fuel line rupture or tank rupture or whatever. It wouldn't just be pumping fuel everywhere. This is a very, very simple one. Basically, what I've done, Amazon, marine grade 30 amp switch. 2 for $7, believe that or not. And this is where I am going to put this. The Mark 8s, you have an access panel here. You have to shut your air ride off if you lift it on the hoist or lift it off the ground to change the tire. There's also the inertia switch in here. And basically all I'm going to do is you unscrew that, grab that, and pull it down. That easy. Right there's the inertia switch. I'm going to pull that connector down, and I'm going to run a wire in line to the switch. And I'm going to hide the switch up here, drill a little hole in there. And when I park it for overnight, I can just click that little switch, and that fuel pump ain't never going to run. And whoever's going to steal this thing is going to be too stupid to know why it's not running, because you're pretty stupid anyways when you're stealing shit. Okay, let's get to it. Hey, the first thing I'm going to do is get some of this stuff out of my way. Tuck that up there a little bit. Get that off of there. I'm not using the dikes to cut this. I'm just sneaking them in underneath here if I can. And then I'm going to wiggle this out. Just like that. Now I can get that out of the way. Inertia switch. Let's get that connector off of there without breaking it. That's off of there. Now I'm going to want my switch. I think I'm going to put it right here. There's nothing behind this. It's not going to interfere with any wiring. So let's get to that. Yeah, and the door axis is up here. So it's just going to be above the door axis, so you're not even going to see the switch. Oh, little trick. Put a magnet under this so you don't have to vacuum as much, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. I got most of it, huh? Okay. Now let me get the rest of the setup going. And now I'm going to cut this insulation back a little bit. And use the right gauge wire when you go to do this. Like I said, I'm using a 30 amp switch. So I'll be using the corresponding wire, because you can tell this is a heavy gauge. That's a heavy gauge wire right there. So you're going to need to use the same gauge wire when you go to do this. So if you use the wrong switch and the wrong gauge wire, it's going to cause a heating problem. And you might overheat and burn out the switch. You don't want to do that. Okay, I've opted to junk this trash. I've got some better connectors here. I'm gonna shrink wrap those on there, and I advise doing this with any connectors. Pretty much, I am going to solder this all together. I've rolled this back on itself. It's a little longer than what I need. So when I go to do the work in the trunk, I have a little excess wire. It's better to have more than not enough. Okay, first thing I want to do, get it trimmed. I have the soldering iron warming up now. These are the cat's ass right here, man. Look at that. Spend the money. This is going to be a much better connection than those cheap ass ones that came in the kit. Oh, I better get my crimper. Where's my crimper at? I guess this will work. I opened it up just a little bit because sometimes when you get them that tight, a couple of the strands don't want to go in, and then you end up fighting putting it in. Basically, the crimping I'm doing is just going to hold the connector onto the wire until the solder takes place. Okay, got that. Hopefully this doesn't work like a heat sink too much. It would help if I had my solder over here. These are garbage ones I get from garage sales. They don't always work the best. I know there's fancy dancy new ones that you don't have to plug in. And make sure it's hot enough. Oh yeah, it's hot enough. So I just got to heat up the connector hot enough. Just takes forever with these old style ones. The key is to get the wire hot enough to where it pulls the solder in. Okay, there we go. It just got hot enough. Okay. Got that on there. Do it real fast. Oh, come on. Come on. Do it real fast. Oh, come on. There we go. That's on there. Where's my lighter at? Oh, look at that. Look how nice that looks. Hey, let me do the other side. Another way I'm going to do this is I want to have all this wired on the switch side first. Wow. Pretty decent. Impressed with these switches so far. It doesn't matter which wire goes to where, it's just a pass through. I had the option to get the blade on, the one where the blade slips on it, or bolt on. I just decided to do the bolt on one first. Doesn't really matter what side of the connector you put on. Okay, now I want to have these come off the side, but I want up and down to, I want up to be on. So I need to figure which direction I want those wires to come off of here. So I'm going to need an ohm meter to figure that one out. Okay, let's see if we're on or off. Where's my connectors at? Okay. Oh, God. I don't know why I see these things. Okay, so. Okay. That is on. And I want my wires to come out this way because that's where the access hole that I'm running the wires through go. Give it a nice little tighty tight. Okay, let me get the other side done for you. Now that I got this all in place, I want to slide another shrink wrap over both of these. Do I have the right size? It's going to be tight. And the reason why is if I have both of these kind of held in place, they're going to be less apt to unscrew themselves. Ooh, that's tight. I did get it over the connector though, so that should be fine. Or over the ends of the other shrink wrap. That's all I was after. I'd love to get it up there farther, but I want a tighter shrink wrap all the way down so that these wires don't move independently of each other. And yes, I could have used electrical tape, but I have the shrink wrap. Just a note to everybody, the Harbor Freight shrink wrap is garbage. Not for the good stuff. I'm dealing with Harbor Freight right now. Okay. That part's all done. Okay, what I've done is I've run the wire in behind everything and out this hole right here. And I've loosely put the switch in. I want to pull some of this wire through so I know what I got going on right here. I want to leave extra wire, and it's okay because I can push it back in that hole. There's a big hollow area in there. So I want to wrap the rest of the wire in electrical tape before I bolt that in. So I'm going to leave about that much exposed. I'm going to pull this back out and then wrap it in electrical tape. To make my life easier, I got it taped up right now. I've pre-cut the shrink wrap, and I am going to go ahead and crimp them on this side, because when I'm in the trunk, it's going to be harder to do this crap. And I don't want to have to deal with these falling off and disappearing down into the fender well or the quarter panel well. I got to get some more of these connectors. If you're going to solder, these are the ones you got to have. Okay, onto the trunk. Okay, the fun part. I have my switch in the up position where I want it so that I know where to go. There's one connector, there's two. So that's coming through the hole here. Switch in. It's kind of tilted a little bit. Okay, there we go. The beauty with this one is this is the waterproof one, so it's got the black toggle. It's going to hide itself in here because it's going to be dark. Get that tilted to where it needs to be. Right there. Okay, make sure that I got it going up and down. Okay, tighten this baby up. Don't want to go too tight on this because I'm sure it is made in China. Good. Now we got our wire sticking through, and all I need to do is cut into one of these. I guess these bajillion-year-old wire strippers are starting to wear out. I've had them for probably since the 80s. I don't need too much because I am going to solder it. I probably need a little bit more than that. Okay. Now, with these, what I found is get your crimper on it before you stick your wire through. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. Come on, get on there. Got a wire trying to pull back on me. Okay. That one's to be crimped. Oh yeah, you kind of get an idea what's going on. I'm sure you're getting enough of looking at my elbow for right now. Let me get this other one crimped. Hey, I soldered it. I didn't bother showing you that just because no room. The shrink wrap deal going on here, and then I'm going to tape it up and make it look really nice and pretty so it doesn't even look like this was an add-on. When I get done with this, it's going to look like it came from the factory. This is the better shrink wrap. You can see that it's shrinking in right away. Okay, let's get to taping this up. I had a chafing path right here, so I put some of that harness protector tubing crap on it. So hook up the inertia switch again. Got that in there, so I don't have to worry about that wire chafing on there if it's moving. I've got that connects in there, and look where the switch is. Once all this is in, it's not going to be seen. Let me put the trim all back together. Okay, my cargo net, whatever you want to call it, button holder, whatever, came loose. This is how I'm going to fix this. Put a little zip tie around this. I'm going to fill this up. Come on, baby, fill up there. Then before it dries, I'm going to go over and pop this on here. Before it dries, zip tie end down, let that dry, and that fixes that. Okay, let me show you how this works. Open up the cover here. I'll turn the toggle switch down. Nothing. Come back in here. Toggle switch up. So it was $7, $8 for 2 switches and some scrap wire I had and some soldering. And the kill switch is installed. Nobody will know. I wouldn't advise turning the kill switch on and off with the vehicle running. I don't think the computers are that advanced on this car to triple warning, but I wouldn't do it anyways. So let's now clean up. Oh, no, wait. What time is it? It's golf day. I can lube the swing. Got to get these things down. Got to get them down. Going on a beer freaking run here.